E non ti corre appresso, non ti strui, solo a guardare. Yanne, yanne, coppe, yanne, ya, yanne.
Oh, that's beautiful angle, right? Hold on. Get some light. Yeah. Yes, sir. This is the show. When in Rome moment, never a dull moment. Maybe sometimes. I be snapping. I be saying some things that I don't even know nothing about. I just be confused sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So last week, if you saw the whole live feed about Charlie Kirk and all that, I ain't on that right now. But I will say though that politics have become a dangerous game. Like back in the day, they used to have debates, right? Everything used to be fine. It used to be who's right, who's wrong. It was never about whether if somebody had some type of ulterior motive, like off rip, like that's the only thing we talk about. We used to talk about everything, but not anymore. It's not even talking about everything anymore. We're talking about more along the lines of who can we blame? How do we point fingers? Like who's done what to who? It's kind of like big kids in a powerful spot. And the spotlight has become so bright that if the world's lights shut off, you only see them. So I find it fascinating. I find it interesting. Let me turn this light off real quick. This light right here, it's a little too bright. And then this one. Okay. I'll get my lighting right one day. I find it fascinating how most of the people never want to get into politics, but they hate politicians. I find it fascinating. Now, one of the theories, which is not much of a theory, is like basically saying that you don't like Donald Trump, but you know how smart you have to be to become president? It's not an easy thing to do. Like, you really have to know your stuff. Like, you have to be at the top of your game. You have to know how to manipulate. You have to know how to celebrate. You have to know how to put people in their place, like make them smaller. You have to know how to ride the high horse. It's not easy being the president. It's not easy running for mayor. You know how many people you gotta deal with on a daily basis? Like, it's not a simple thing to do. Like, you can't just wake up and be like, I could be a better mayor than Al Sharpton. But if you got it, you got it. You know what I'm saying? No one's saying don't do it. If you got it, you got it. Now, I always ask myself if I was a politician and I was coming out for a campaign, what would I say? Right? As of recently, someone, friend of mine, he told me about this thing that I didn't know about until now. The Make America Great Again started with Ronald Reagan. Think about that for a second. If Make America Great Again started with Ronald Reagan, And Donald Trump uses it today as his slogan. And then you got the whole Charlie Kirk thing, making the "Make America Great Again" book. I see a pattern. I feel like the agenda was written up to get the whole crowd routed up. Let's make sure they all go crazy. Let's make sure we all put them against each other so we can mastermind the great comeback. I don't know if everybody is going to be against each other or not, but when it comes down to the whole slogan, "Make America Great Again," I think that you have to create a war first. And then after a war is created, then you can start thinking about making America great. But it was never once great to most people on the planet. Because if we're talking about making America great again, especially during the Ronald Reagan days, right? Around that time, if I got my facts checked out a little bit, Ronald Reagan was the guy that flooded the streets with drugs, according to the information and the source that I had received, earlier this week. And then he gave certain people more time in prison for being in possession of those drugs. Now, I heard it was based off of a racial standpoint of view, but let's just stay away from the race word or racism and all that kind of stuff for a little bit. The individuals that knew how to do it or they were ambitious enough to roam the streets and things like that were mainly African Americans. Italians and everybody like that, they had their moments, right? Like, for example, an Italian would sell these type of products to individuals that had a high network or they were in areas where police officers didn't go. So, can you say that the African American community was trained to be drug dealers or something like that? Or can you say that they just did it because it was an easy way to make money? But you got to ask yourself, right? Where was these individuals getting money from? Because as far as I know, in order to be an addict, you got to have money. So you gotta go and you gotta steal, or you gotta rob, or you gotta pawn, or you gotta do something to get cash. It was never about just Ronald Reagan. I think, this is a thought, I think that got messy. I think that Ronald Reagan had a team and they put together this grand scheme to push drugs into the community so they can, how do you say it? Gentrify? Because not everywhere in Philadelphia or the East Coast was bad or full of people that was doing drugs. Not everywhere it was. But what they did was they allowed them to go all over the place so that they can lower the value in property. And then everyone that had money and power had the opportunity to buy it out. I mean, it's smart. Think about it. When the Philadelphia Eagles won the championship, the first time, and or was it the Super Bowl? Whenever they won that cup or that trophy. In that year, fentanyl was pushed throughout the entire city for countless numbers of days. I think it was done on purpose. I ain't never seen Philly like that before. I ain't never seen it like that before. It's never been a moment in time where Philly was just that saturated with drugs. I understand marijuana, but I don't understand how fentanyl got there. Not people are not that like People in Philly are not that smart. Some of them are, but not enough to get the whole city on drugs. You gotta be some kind of type of special. Like even the Frank Lucas story was kind of fabricated a little bit, right? But you gotta be some kind of special to get everybody in Philly to be on that one drug, spending all they money on it. Some kind of special. I don't care what you say, you're not gonna find anybody that's gonna have access to that kind of thing other than the government. They gotta allow this kind of a thing to happen. It don't just happen because simply, oh, I woke up, I want to do this and make a movement. No, it was pushed there. Somebody got planted into this area so they can gentrify it. Or if that's the word for it, but it was put there. I ain't never seen my city go up in smoke like that. Just for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, that's crazy. They did their thing on this one. Buffalo Slider from Arby's. Run it up. I found out about Philadelphia from someone, and she was like, "Is that how Philadelphia is?" I was like, "Philly ain't that bad." She was like, "Are you sure? Because it looks terrible." I'm like, "Come on, Philly not that bad, right?" Everywhere, like I was in Chicago, over there in the city area, and I can say there's a lot of crime going on, right? I know there's a lot of crime going over there because, like, I was talking to one of my homies. Well, we like associates, but let's call him a homie because he's a cool person. And he had like a normal day, right? I was just meeting him as a normal day. And then all of a sudden, I remember hitting him up and talking with him. And he was like, man, lost such XYZ, and then lost another one. RIP XYZ. And I'm just like, dang, like I just saw you the other day and you was happy. And now you like, you gotta go through that. And he just trying to change his life. But everybody not gonna be in the same page as you, so I ain't expecting that. Mm. They overly breaded this one though. I ain't gonna just fire, but overly breaded. So chat or anybody that's like locked in on this episode, right? What y'all think? Right? Like, do y'all think that the government is allowing people in Chicago to access these firearms? Now it's okay, like they have firearms out there that are easily accessible, like the Glock 9, 45, things like that, Desert Eagles and whatnot, and Colts and things like that. But do you think that they're allowing the gun shops to just sell to anybody? I mean, it's a good question, right? Because if I'm in a city where crime is mostly the shooting and killing or unaliving, it makes sense for the government to say you got to have some type of license to get a firearm. right? Prove to them that you're not that you don't belong inside of an insane asylum. That makes sense, right? When they had legalized marijuana, it went through a chain of events. And those chain of events were just like rapid. They ran crazy. In order to be able to buy from the dispensary, you need to have a medical card. But to get a medical card, you got to go to the doctors. Go to the doctors, you got to prove that you got something wrong with you, that you need the drug itself. I mean, should it be the same for guns? Right? Should it be the same for guns? Like, show me a rap sheet that says you have this for protection. Should there be a process? Or maybe not say protection. Let's just say, show me that you're not insane, right? Show me that you are sane. Show me that you're not going to go up and do what people are doing, Show me that. And then we can keep going. Comes to this point, right? I was talking on the phone and it just dawned on me. Isn't it strange how P. Diddy was locked up, got locked up, and then all the demonic movies is coming out? Final Destination has some crazy things happening, right? The one that I want to talk about, which is the reason why I'm definitely like on this live, like here doing this, is the movie called Him. And I haven't seen it yet, but just looking at the commercials kind of got me a little shook. Wasn't it Marlon Wayne and the Shannon Brown show? He said he'd never been a part of a satanic ritual, or he never stayed for the parties, even though they got crazy wild. He left early. And then he's starring in a movie that's getting all of this hype. And then his role in the movie is to play this individual that has fame, and he wants to train someone else to take his place. At least that's what I see. I don't really know if Marlon Wayans is doing this to say I'm sorry, or he's doing it so that he could tell people something else, another narrative, another story. There's no way you saying you wasn't a part of the mansion parties, and then when one person get locked up, who's technically like God in the music industry, after he gets booked, all the dark things come out. It's like P. Diddy was the gatekeeper of the demonic past. And he was holding them all at bay, like, you can't go out yet. It's not your time. And then all of a sudden he gets locked up, and then boom, we got scary movies, we got people getting shot up in movie theaters, we got a lot of crazy things happening, we got wars happening. Now P. Diddy got locked up before the wars, am I correct? All the wars was brewing up. They was brewing up to be ready to be shown to the world. And i'm assuming I'm going to assume that somebody had this information about all of it, like who started it, where it's going, why is it happening, the real meaning behind it. Because information is power. Tell me it's not. Information is power. I heard that there are different kinds of rituals and sacrifices. In the movie Him, fantastic storyline from the commercial so far. In the movie Him from the commercials, the young person who's a star wants to be as big as his idol. And his idol is training him how to be as big as him, but the idol is saying, how much fame do you want? You can't have all the fame, but not want something, not do something for it. You gotta do something for it because it just makes sense. So do something for it, right? That's what he's saying. He said in the commercial, you want my spot? He said, take it. As far as I know, you got there for a reason, so you already have the spot. But this man was talking about fame. Fame has got to be the one thing that you do not chase after. It must come natural. And if it does come natural, you must protect yourself at all times. Now, show me a famous person that doesn't have problems. I know you probably got one or two. Every famous person has problems. You just gotta wait for it to catch up to you, right? Let me ask you, does anybody even know the backstory about how demonic beings or demonic things came to be a part of the music industry? Does anyone even know how it started when the demonic fame and rituals got into the NFL? Because I'm curious to know now. I'm going to study that for the next time we that I come on here and I give my rant and I tell you about what I'm thinking because I really want to study how rituals and how athletes, like professional athletes, I understand like music rappers, like music artists. I understand that. That makes sense. To be able to produce so much and be as creative as you are and get the words together, you got to unlock the universe. But you got individuals like LeBron James. You got individuals like I don't know, what's his name? Tiger Woods. You got all that money, bro, and you over there like gotta say sorry to your wife or something. You could just go home. You don't even gotta be outside. See, the regular folk, the average folks, they gotta be outside. We got no choice. We ain't got money like that. So we gotta be outside. People looking to make a name for themselves. They gotta be outside. But when you already got millions of dollars, a nice house and a good looking wife, decent family, what you outside for, bro? And I ain't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but let's just say it. Let's just talk about it. The whole Kendrick Lamar album, when he had apologized to his girlfriend or wife or something like that for cheating on her. Y'all, you say honesty could kill a person, but for real, I'm gonna be honest. They made that man do that. That was his public humiliation. And in order for him to get away from his public humiliation, he had to go to war with Drake. And you know what happened to Drake? Pusha T happened to Drake. Pusha T happened to Drake. And these are individuals in the music industry. They've been in the industry for a while. They probably go to the same parties. I remember when Drake had that beef with Chris Brown. I don't know what that was about, but what I'm saying is like, is it really a problem in the music industry, or are they making us seem like they want us to see that there's a problem? Because sometimes there really is no problem at all, and they just want you to see that there is a problem so that you could talk about the controversy. Never know it's ASAP Rocky don't produce no music like that, like major hits, but he's still popular. I'm not an ASAP Rocky fan, so I couldn't tell you much, right? But I will say, like, when it comes down to rituals, fame, the next big dollar bill, the next big franc, when did these things get into sports? Now, some people might even jump out, and say it was mafia related, it was this, that, and the third. But when did the mafia get into rituals like this? I understand that killing's got to be one of the most ultimate rituals because you're playing God. Killing has got to be one of the most ultimate religions, rituals. They also did a lot of things. I played the Mafia games. The Mafia games got the killing involved. The Mafia games got the drug dealing involved. The Mafia games got the car theft involved. The Mafia games got the torture part involved. Honestly, I think that if you just look at it deep enough, you could say that whenever you do harm to someone innocent or someone that didn't deserve it or someone that just was there at the wrong time in the place that you didn't want them to be, wrong place, wrong time. I saw a movie, Denzel Washington starred in it. He didn't do much but just like talk. And it's called Hurricane. And Hurricane is about an African American boxer who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And instead of the actual murderer getting caught and going to jail, he was the one put in jail because he was there, wrong place, wrong time. How many of us are at the wrong place, the wrong time? It's infatuating sometimes. How do you put yourself in the right place at the right time? But that's not what we're talking about, right? We're talking about the idea that brain skip, that just happened. It's been happening a lot lately. We're talking about the idea that people get framed for anything, and it don't even matter what it is. They just get framed for it. Now, I do have this thought. Is it me, or if you lock up a rich person and put them in a prison of choosing, right? For example, most inmates are allowed particular products and items. If you put a rich person like Jay-Z behind bars, how much money do you think your jail, your prison will receive? So he in jail, he incarcerated, right? So what he got to lose? He gonna go and he gonna put some money on his books. I wonder if they take a part of that, like a piece of the cut, you know? Put some money on his books. Actually, they do, actually, because, you spend money inside the prison, which goes to the prison warden, I think. But Jay-Z puts money on his books, and he's like, hey, yo, I need you to build something over here for me. So he builds a studio. They're using electricity, so inmates got to pay for electricity. I mean, it's probably going to be a new thing. If you want to charge up a cell phone or device, if you ain't paying for electricity, I can't give it to you. You don't get those products. But it's very much true that everybody is either seeing it or they're not seeing it. Second P. Diddy got locked up, they started releasing movie after movie, start releasing horror movie after horror movie. Who y'all think gonna be the next face? It's not Leonardo DiCaprio, I'll tell you that. My eyes set on Michael B. Jordan. They're gonna make that man the next Diddy. And I absolutely like Michael B. Jordan. I think he's a cool dude. I'm just saying the man's been in more videos than Spliff in the Busta Rhymes series. Saying it. So I don't think I'm playing. I'm not. I'm not. I think Michael B. Jordan's the one that be chosen. Everyone likes that man. Everyone. Now let's break into theory really quick. I never seen the movie Him yet, as I told you in the beginning or in the middle. But I plan to go see it. In fact, I might be able to see it now. Hold on, because I haven't logged into this app in a long time. Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna show you real quick. So I got this app called Liam, and the app itself is like you can watch anything at any time. Doesn't matter what it is. You watch anything at any time. And if you pay for the free ads, like no ads, then you get like a smooth sailing all the way across. But I'm not doing that. I keep myself on the free side. I mm, was getting a receipt so I can get some fuel. But I forgot what I was talking about because I got distracted. I never stay on track whenever I want to be on track. Movie thing. Okay, so you can pay so you don't have to get the ads, but at this point in time, I'm not going to pay. I'd rather stay with the ads. And personally, it's nothing wrong with it. Maybe just catch a break. So the Conjuring movie came out, scary movie. Him came out, scary movie. Final Destination. That's a big one for millennials, man. Like, ask any millennial what they think about driving behind a tractor trailer with tree logs on it. And they're gonna tell you, no, I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't even want it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be behind it. I don't want to do none of that. Ask a millennial how they feel about being on the elevator and it breaks down. But you can crawl through a little hole, right? Just to get to the floor. Nah, I'm good. I think there's a whole lot of crazy going on. And the cat's out the bag, baby. The cat is out the bag. Everybody is going to see these scary movies. Everybody is going to the movies. Movies left and right. Movies galore. I want to go to the movies. Strangers 2 is out as well. Let's see what we got here. Um, so the app is called Liam, and you know how the Conjuring movie is out right now. Uh, I get to see a little preview of it, of what it looks like, and see if I really want to watch it or not. And I find that interesting because everybody has their own loopholes. Just got to get there. Welcome to Off Subjects pre-game shows to season 2. You're gonna find yourself with a different mindset at the end of this season. The stories might get crazier, actually. One thing I do know and I learned from is be on time and stop being fashionably late. Because bad things don't come about naturally, but you can force them, right? But all jokes aside, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about the movie Him if you're gonna go see it. Tell me what y'all think about the new Final Destination if you're gonna go see it. Tell me what you think about The Conjuring if you're gonna go see it. I'll show you real quick. Look at that. You see that right there? Now, that's The Conjuring right there. And I'm over here trying to watch it at the movie theater. I might just wait for it to become available on Netflix. But I'm really excited to see the movie Him. I want to see that because heard a quote, knowing your enemies is better than not knowing them. It's not exactly what it said there, but it's along those lines. I've seen a few Netflix series that ended so well. I'm upset. One, you gotta watch Madness or The Madness or something Madness. Let me go get my tablet. Yeah. There was a movie I saw. I really like it. I actually saw a couple of them and available on Netflix. It's called The Madness. It's about a reporter that was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And all of this is happening in Philadelphia. And I think it's phenomenal. I love my city. I love everything about it. I love it how when the Eagles lose or something like that, a good game they should have won. Um, Everybody starts to flip vehicles and set things on fire. Now, be careful out there, man. We don't want nobody unaliving, right? But do you? I really want to get into the Tyler Perry Beauty in Black. That one looks really, really good. The Ares is what it's called, Ares. That one ended with a huge cliffhanger. Like now I'm curious about how everything is gonna go. Um, those are two that I really, really like. And then I've also seen a few of the other TV shows like The Recruit. The Recruit, amazing, amazing TV series. Amazing. You know, you get 2 seasons of jam-packed Navy work, crime, suspense, drama, you name it, is there. You got, I was told 47 Ronin was also a good one. I haven't quite seen it all the way yet, but I think I remember seeing it and it was really, really good. Um, Arcane. Cannot stress too much about Arcane. Arcane on Netflix. If you're in anime, cool. If you're not, you cool too. Arcane has got to be the best anime I have ever seen. I wish I can show you, but I'm not going to. Oh my gosh. They got black sails? Hold up. Yo, if you want to watch something pirate related, Black Sails is it. Now, it's not for all TV age, all ages, okay? It's not for all ages. So if you watching it, you into it, your kids show up, and they not old enough to see all that, understand all that, you need to stop watching it, okay? Let me sit tall so my back keep lined up, you know what I mean? You need to make sure your kids is cool. You don't need that. Black Cells is that work. I really, really like that one. Prison Break, I think we said that. We didn't say that. I don't know. But Prison Break is really good as well. Um, I really want to get into Breaking Bad and see if I can make it all the way to the end. Vinland Saga season 1. Don't even watch season 2. Season 2 is like, what am I doing with my life? That's not necessary. We all know like the Marvel and Capcom and DC, all of those things, that's there. The one that caught my attention the first time is called Archive 81 on Netflix. Archive 81. Now, what I like about Archive 81 is it's about someone's life and the other someone is studying the life of the other person, but the one that was studying the life of the other person who is living in the future, the one that was living in the past actually survives. But the one living in the future has to go through trial and tribulation. I find that crazy interesting that they would do it that way. Now, this is not some type of scary movies that you would watch and you like, oh, I'm shaking in my boots. No, you're not doing that. That's not going to happen. The reason why it's not going to happen is because it's all suspenseful. Now, Ares on Netflix, also not for children. So it's not necessarily something you want your child to watch with you because it might teach them negative results, and you don't want that. Uh, I mean, there's so many more. There's so many more. So many more. The last thing I want to talk about is a game called Idle Bitcoin, right? And there's this coin, it's called the Horror Coin. I've been trying to collect as many of those as I possibly can. If you go online and look up the Horror Coin, HORA, it actually had a trading value. And the trading value used to be at point zero 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 zero, right? But now it's at point zero 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 in number. This is how Bitcoin took off. This is exactly where it started. This is exactly how Ethereum and and all of the ETCs and all that. That's how all that started off. Is point zero 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 something. Then it got point zero zero something. Then you got point zero something. Then you got point something. Then you got point number point something something something, and it keeps going up. Now at this game, all you got to do is just play it, and you get coins. Let me show you. I got. It's a simple game. And most people like playing games, right? Let it play in your background if you needed to, but it's a very simple game. Starts off like this, right? And then you got like these little small little things here. Um, I purchased not having the ads, but it's just pretty much a game where you get to control what's going on inside the game. And when you go into the game and you type in your name, you see right there it says horror tokens, right? You can actually withdraw that, put it inside the wallet, and actually sell it if you wanted to sell it. Jessica, what's up? I'm blazing through some topics, you know what I'm saying? Um, I wanted to talk about a few things. And I'm gonna give you a little recap of what I want to talk about was the movie called Him. And Him has to be the most intriguing one that I've seen so far. I mean, I'm waiting for that Black Panther one to come out with Denzel Washington. If Denzel Washington is in it, look, bring back Michael B. Jordan from the dead, bro. Bring this man back, please. You know what I'm saying? Like he did so good at being Killmonger. I feel like I want to see the story of Killmonger. Like I want to see it. I want to see it from the time that he was a kid all the way up to the time that he became the part of Claw Ulysses Claw team. When did he meet the girl? Because it says in the thing it said Killmonger was wrapping up kills like it was a video game. That's why they call him Killmonger. You gotta remind me to sit straight because this is sitting small. You don't want to sit small. Sitting small, you don't want that. You want to sit tall. Keep that back straight. Jessica, what you got for me, man? What you got for me? Give me a question. Come on. What you got for me? Tell me something that happened today so I can rant about it. Yeah, you know what? They might not be on right now. We still in the stages of creating the season two. We've passed Genesis. Right now we going over into Exodus and Numbers and Deuteronomy and all that kind of stuff. In the beginning, there was Johnny. In the beginning, Jimmy Kimmel getting banned? Hold up. Wait a minute. Banned from what? His show? Jimmy Kimmel getting banned from his show? Or from SNL or from where? Like, word? I thought he was proactive Trump though. I thought he was. He not pro Trump. I thought he was pro-Trump. Yeah, that's not in my news feed at all. I need to go search this up so I can get on Jimmy Kimmel fired. You know how many years this man served for them? All right, so it says here Jimmy Kimmel was suspended after Carr told the right-wing podcaster Benny Johnson that Kimmel's remarks about Charlie Kirk's assassination constitutes the sickest conduct possible and suggests that the FCC could move to revoke ABC's affiliate licenses. He made a bad joke. I mean, he probably made a bad joke about the FCC, which I don't know what the FCC stand for, but it's probably um something that is going to be interesting. It says that Jimmy Kimmel's late night talk show is being replaced by Canada's detectives canine crime solving duo. So Canada Detective is taking over the Jimmy Kimmel Hour. I never saw that coming. You ever like stay up late night and then you wake up and then you like they got this infomercial on and then you like what is going on? It's kind of like really really weird. And then you open your eyes and it's like this weird TV show or something you know for a fact you're not gonna watch. For me, that was Jimmy Kimmel. That was Jimmy Kimmel. I ain't gonna hold you. That was Jimmy Kimmel for me the whole time because it's called the late night show for a reason. I'm not up late nights. Now I am, but not often. That's crazy. So first, Chris Rock gets slapped by Will Smith. Will Smith is becoming a rapper again. How shocking is that? Now, then the comedians are starting to, be a little more worried about being on stage. And then you got individuals like, I know he wasn't a good guy and all of that, but his public assassination, it goes on the list of everybody else that has been assassinated in public. It just does. But this one, this assassination took America by surprise, right? A 22-year-old, like literally just said, you know what? I'm gonna throw my life away. Just because he felt some kind of way about Charlie Kirk, right? No matter how bad the person is, doesn't give you the right to unalive a person. It doesn't give you the right. It doesn't. You can't play God. Now I'm gonna say this because I said it on the last one and I deleted it because I wanted to be sure that I was saying things that were accurate. Soda break. The dude, I have his name somewhere, but I don't want to kind of get into that. Brody would have low key got away, Jessica. He would have low key got away. I'm gonna tell you how I feel he would have got away. Yeah, and the thing is it wasn't just that. It was it was stupidity on his side because everybody is running frantic over the assassination. Brody could have literally got away, but he just couldn't contain the power. He couldn't contain the power that he had. He couldn't contain the power of the action that he committed just now. Because his family couldn't recognize him, his friends couldn't recognize him. I read that he didn't have any friends. I read that his friends was like, they saw him being a little too obsessed and they were just trying to do their college thing and all that. I heard he didn't have any friends. But at the same time, he had to have one or two, right? Or three. So whenever I think about that, I just say to myself, even though Charlie Kirk wasn't a good guy to some people, he was a good guy to others, right? But that doesn't give Tyler, I think that's his name, the right to do a public assassination. It doesn't give him the right to play God. No one gets the right to play God. That's just how this works. No one gets that right. So when I look at the news, right? I always think about when I was a kid, there was always something going on. Always something going on. When I was a kid, there was always something going on. You can't tell me that there was nothing bad going on. Like how often did you turn on the news? Doesn't matter. That was someone's. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. What I'm saying is Brody didn't have the right to play God, but America gives us the right to obtain the tools. Now, I understand this is America and we have amendments and laws and things like that. And I don't think that they should be tampered with, changed, or any way, shape, or form. But that was not something that he just did because he felt like today I want to do something crazy. I read somewhere where it said he was putting memes on the bullets. And those bullets contained like specific things, and you need a special machine to do that. Now, I'm pretty sure if he had friends that were around him and they saw him doing this, they'd say, "Bro, what are you writing those on bullets for? What is your plan with those?" And then he just openly jokes, "Ha, I just wanted to write them on there, just as like a joke." And the person's looking at him like, "That's not a joke, right?" Let's just say that did happen. Let's say someone did find out his game plan before he did it. Who's in more trouble, right? Obviously, the person that unalived the other, but who is in more trouble? You say that Tyler is in more trouble, but at the same time, could you be kind of considered as a co-conspirator? Is that admissible in court or is it unadmissible? Do you dismiss it? Have you seen 12 Angry Men? Have you seen 12 Angry Men? If you haven't, this scene, this movie demonstrates exactly the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This movie demonstrates it, and it will just blow your mind on how they come to that judgment. But this is different only because it's a white American. Facts. Yes. You know, the one thing I honestly want to say, and I'm going to leave my opinion on, is you can't, you shouldn't. I don't see why anybody would even consider the fact that you are taking somebody off the planet before their time and they have a family. It doesn't matter what anybody what he did. It doesn't matter what Charlie Kirk was saying. Yeah, I mean, it does according to popular opinion and judgments and factors on it because we have the freedom of speech. But let's just cancel out that for a second right now. The man was still a father. The man was still a father. At night, he didn't go home and he was like, "Honey, if this was my last day, I love." He didn't say that. He literally was still a father. And from the looks of his timeline, I'm gonna tell you, it happened fast. But just like any success story, it happens fast. Who wouldn't have a child off rip if you married Mrs. Arizona? Like, come on now. What man on this planet would be like, you know what, we should wait just in case, things don't go right. Nah, he married one of those Mrs. Pageant individuals, and she got her own thing going on, and he got his own thing going on. She's gonna be following up and taking over his place, though. But it's just America gives us the rights to own tools of destruction. How is it even remotely possible or okay for a man to think about something like this? Check this out. How is it remotely possible or okay for you to go to a movie theater and shoot it up? Like this man had to be messed up in the head before he even got to the movie theater, before he even like purchased the firearm. There's no brief checking for this. Like, it could be any of our siblings, it could be any of our family members that actually are unlucky in these situations. And America is just giving opportunity for everyone to have power in their hand. Now, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm being a little too aggressive, but that's just, it is what it is. There was once upon a time where Philadelphia took over hundreds or even thousands of guns off the street, only for them to put it back into the store so they could be resold. What are we really doing? I don't even think that the government even has a plan for trying to get rid of crime. They're like, without crime, we can't control prices. That's what they probably saying. Tell me what you think about that. Do you think that America controls the crime for personal benefit? Do you feel like they're not helping or donating more support money towards the support of cleaning up the streets? Because if America was crimeless, if it was crimeless, it would be considered a utopia, a metropolis of good. And that doesn't do any good for any gentrification. That doesn't do any good for ballooning. That doesn't do any good for just, I guess you could say, what's the word? Somebody, influence or association. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like America is just allowing the crime so they can control the prices? Do you feel like politicians play a major role in higher crime? Because think about it for a second. Chicago is Chicago. Can't beat that. Chicago is Chicago. So they're going to do some shootouts. They call it Chirac for a reason. So put yourself in a politician's shoes for once, just one time, and say you're in control of the city you live in, but you need to have more tax dollars go into the pockets of the city so that we can build a stronger police force or have better weapons or something like that. Because as far as I know and understand, most of these weapons they're not made in America. I mean, they have machines that make airsoft weapons, which is kind of cool. But they're not all made in America. Some of the steel comes from other countries. Resources that we're trading resources to get something, and yet we still have debt. I think it's crazy. Americans, we allow these things to go on, and we're not telling them to stop. How often does anyone think about the George Floyd incident, right? He didn't have to go out like that. But you look at that story and you say, if the cops are here, then who do I call if they're treating somebody wrong? Because of that incident, there was a riot, and I believe it was Maryland. There was a riot, and that riot caused a lot of store owners money because they had to pay for them windows. Can you imagine having to pay for your window because somebody decided to throw a rock at it because they were so-called rebelling against the government? I digress. It sounds sad. Let me ask this for the world, right? If you can update any amendment, what would it be? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm American and I don't even know them all. Yep. They was animals. Easier way to citizenship. I like that. I do think that you should be able to obtain citizenship without marriage. I think that there should be some type of aptitude test or something like that. But I'm gonna tell you something, Jessica. Check this out. Did you know that most Americans would fail the aptitude test if it pertains to citizenship? A good number of Americans would fail that test. They're gonna ask questions about war, economics. They're probably gonna even ask you to write out 3 amendments. And how many are gonna fail that test? A good portion, including myself. It's crazy to think that they give us the rights to do certain things, and we do the wrong things with those good rights. It says that we have the amendment to bear arms. It didn't say we got the amendment to bury people. Think about that. I'm telling you, I wouldn't pass that joint either. Do you know how much slang is in the world, Jessica? Do you know how much slang is in the world to us to be like, okay, I need you to spell the word onomatopoeia? I wouldn't know where to start. Fail me already. I know my name on the paper, so I at least get to stay at home. Take the job. Don't take my life. Just I at least get to stay at home. A lot of citizens blame Hispanic individuals for stealing their jobs. But a lot of citizens are aggressive. They're aggressive to a reason, maybe. To no reason, maybe. I hate to be biased, but that's the truth. I don't want anybody to ever think that just because you're American doesn't give you the right to bury people. Send a text message. So I do like the idea of changing the law of citizenship. I'll tell you why I like that idea. There are so many people that can help America actually become great, but they're not Americans. The amendment I would change is the one where it talks about politicians separating themselves from political parties of Christianity or any religion. I would change that one. Jessica says, let's put this on the thing here. Just think immigration pays taxes but can never retire because they aren't legal. Hear how they expect, what's that say? Expect to make a life here. You know what? You're right. But if it's one thing I understood, the only people that got it figured out in America is Hispanic people. The ones without the actual. How do you live without using your social security card, your birth certificate. How do you like I know I go through days without using it, but on days that I do need it, it's not even there. It's somewhere else. America is a frightening place if you don't know what's going on. It really is. You gotta beat family here. And most of us in the world, we're not family. It's really tough to say, Jessica, exactly where the world is going. And I'm a little upset by it a little bit because I grew up in it. You telling me why can't we all just get along? But it's not going to happen. We can't. We never will. It's a power source, and somebody has to have it all. Jessica, I want to appreciate you getting on and also all the other ones that might have came and went. I want to share with you something that is going on in my life. The real when in Rome moment. In the beginning, when I got my accident, right? Now I'm very close to being completely paid off. I wonder why I got into that accident. And the reason is the actual habitations of today. My brain is extremely tired, but the show must go on, right? God was telling me slow down, but I was speeding up. You ever get that feeling, Jessica? God saying slow down, you moving too fast. Here, take this. Bam, right on the nose. You're like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you cute, or you know that you strong, or you know you athletic. God's like, broken leg, zit, menstrual cycle, unexpected, you like that. Yep. I never forget how many times he put the brakes on. I was at Overbrook High School. I was ready to leave, and I got held up by a teacher because he wanted to talk to me. I get downstairs, getting ready to go through the door. I get this hand slap my back really, really hard, but it like stayed there. Then he grabbed my shirt and pulled me in. As he was pulling me in the building, you heard "Ah," like it was just all over the place, shooting the school up, trying to get one person. But that one person wasn't even at school that day. But it could have been my time then. But God put the brakes on that day. I stayed a little bit longer to talk with a teacher. So cherish your life. Get it right. Don't be wrong and don't be rude. Jessica, this is the pregame for season two. And I definitely would love for you personally to come on one episode, one episode, show up and show out for one episode of your choosing. We're going to probably have 30 episodes or 29 or something like that. And I want Jessica to choose which episode she wants to come on. All right. I like that. I was waiting for your answer and I saw it. We can have a segment where we talk about something scary. Um, there's a lot of things coming out that's technically scary, but I really think that talking about The Conjuring and the series thereof, like who's making the money from that? Haunted House. Woo! You over there ready to go all in. Look, I'm down. I'm changing my jobs over and things like that, but I'm down. I'm down. I'm gonna get situated and have more time. We might have to do the podcast in the haunted house while we're walking through it. But I also want to say walk through, let's go downtown. You know what? That street that we were talking about, where it's like a haunted bar or something like that, there must be a way to activate it, but I'm not gonna get curious and be unalive, so I think seeing it might be enough. But going downtown might be a dope thing. Maybe let's sometime during season two at the end, let's see if we can get everybody together in one place and let's organize a live podcast right in front of you to see how we do things, to see why we do things, to just see it all, and for also for you to be a part of it. It is. I don't really celebrate holidays like that, but what are you going to be for Halloween? And if you say which, I'm gonna say which one. If you say vampire, I'm gonna say, are you using the cheap type of blood? No, you not. No, no. For everybody that don't know who this is, look. I'm about to say, you know how much work you gotta go through to get to that? That is a long process. And also you gotta sell me on it. You gotta sell me on it. Isn't it just like a lady? What's that? What's that? Hold on. That's a person? That's a person? She cries, "Oh my children." Oh, it's the same person. It's the same person, huh? Do you know she reminds me of the nun? Like you think they cousins? And she drowned them. She just has long black hair and a white dress. I already have makeup's gonna be like, oh girl, that dress is so pretty. I can't wait to see you in it. And you like, ain't you going trick or treating too? Right? You ever trick or treat as a grown person? Like they be thinking just because we're not kids no more, we don't like candy. Come on now. Like, come on. Like you can give me one M&M. We feeling it now, Jessica. They, the long lost sisters. I really think that one of you could be the nun. You can get one. You can like ask your neighbor, "Hey, Timmy's going out trick or treating, right? Yeah, make sure he fills my bag up too." If you pretend, look, what was it? It was on Facebook or something where the person invented a walk side by side kid type of thing, like a puppet. And he was like, "Oh, he doesn't talk. He's very shy." And she's like, "Oh, what is he?" And he made it look like a real boy, but it was like a doll. I think it was clever. Well, I think that we might be able to do something special for our top deck on the 31st or whenever Halloween is. I don't think I know what's going on yet, but I will say that there's going to be something happening, and that something is going to create a bigger interaction with not just yourself, but everyone as well. Like going to the haunted house might be a dope idea. You know what I mean? The corn maze is also a dope idea. I think we should find a way to have a podcast in the middle of nowhere, and maybe even show some scary stories so that Ro can be like, "Hey guys," you know what I'm saying? But as far as where we are now, Jessica, I wasn't on for very long, but I do appreciate you coming through. Everyone that has watched and everyone that is going to watch, I appreciate you guys for coming through. Uh, you want to see Rogue White wife as a dress or white as a ghost? White as a ghost. Ah, white as a ghost. You know what? Think of a crazy, scary story. Tell me about it, and then I'm going to say it like I understand it or know it. But I want to thank you, Jessica. I want to thank you all top objectors. I want to thank you all for helping us have a really good episode 1 through 30 of season one. I want to thank everybody that's going to be a part of season two. I want to also thank everyone that is enjoying the journey because it's not easy doing this, right? You saw me in the beginning, my feed was all messed up and all that, but it kind of worked out for the best. And I think that it could be a big podcast next year to a point where there's nothing you can say or do. Oh yeah, and I don't want to forget, thank you, Beyonce, for the Levi jeans commercials and coming back into the music industry. What did she do? She making Levi's popular again. Thank you, Beyonce. Yeah, I mean. I also want to thank Beyonce for rocking the blonde hair. I have to say, I did not think she could pull it off. But that golden hair, golden locks, I don't know. Tell me before we end the stream. What did Beyonce do? We waiting for Jessica, everybody, to tell me what Beyonce did because yeah, why do I have to thank her? I mean, who doesn't want to thank Beyonce? I'm thinking, why do I have to thank her? What did she do for moi, mes amis? Mhm. Well, before I thank Beyonce, I want to thank Jessica, Makeup, Lux, and I don't know everybody's like name like that, but everyone. Pilot show coming next week, give or take. The show must go on. Season 2 of Off Topject. And the reason why you got to stay in the know while we on the go, because off Topject, we either sleep or we don't. And most of the time, we ain't sleeping. So y'all have a good night. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Y'all enjoyed this entire episode, the I'm surprised episode. Rewind it back and get all that in the beginning because I did want to share a message with you guys about the Him movie. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna stop it. I'm gonna work harder. Well, Jessica, off Top Jet community, you have a good night. Sleep well. And if you ain't bought my book yet, you better buy my book. You ain't really gotta buy it. It's on all platforms though, by the way. And it's cheaper to buy it, $5 or something like that. Keep it in your phone. And I got plans of starting up a book club. It's gonna be called The Last Chip, like Dorito chip, The Last Chip. And it's gonna be a nice little peanut gallery. And I got plans of starting that in the future. Deuces, love y'all. Let's get this world going. Not yet. Before I end this, the meet and greet is gonna be after the big showcase in October for the coffee book in Germany. It's gonna be after. Now, when I do my signings, I'm gonna do them on particular days or the day that it needs to be, but I'm gonna have a team because I did see Smile too, and I'm not trying to end up like that. So, yeah. But for you, Jessica, because you got the book, I'll literally just come to you to sign it. You know, it's not even going to be a problem. Anyone that bought the book in the beginning when it wasn't necessarily anything going on and it was just the book and me talking about it, I will come to you and I will sign it myself. I hope you do, because you're going to remind me if I get too busy. But love y'all. Deuces.
Ain't shit to me, it's a walk in the park. Y'all too smart, can't talk from the heart. I got sauce and it's all for the charges. No aux in the car.